What's good people, and welcome back to the channel here on Kruboy Productions. My name is BK, and this is the Silly, Nerdy, and Wordy podcast, episode 66, Karate Kid Legends spoiler review. And in this episode, I will be giving my spoiler review thoughts on this Karate Kid Legends film, what I liked, what I didn't like, and my reasons for it. Hope you'll join me. What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody is doing well. Let's get right into this episode, and this is about the film Karate Kid Legends, and this film is the sixth film in this Karate Kid franchise. I have watched the three original films from the 80s earlier this year for the first time, and I did not watch the 1994 film with Hilary Swank as the protagonist, and then the 2010 film with Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith. I did see that. I actually have the Blu-ray for that one. And Cobra Kai, I did not watch that series on Netflix, but I am aware of it. So that's my background with this film franchise. For this movie overall, I liked it. It was a solid movie, not great movie, but solid movie. This movie is directed by Jonathan Entwistle. His previous projects include mostly TV shows and music videos. Of some of the more prominent ones he's done is Hello Tomorrow back in 2023 for one season, which was on Apple TV. He's also done I'm Not Okay With This for one season that was on Netflix back in 2020. And then he's done The End of the Bleeping World back from 2017 to 2019 for two seasons. That was also on Netflix. So this movie here, Karate Kid Legends, was his very first movie, his directorial debut to do this movie. So his very first movie. And the cast includes Ben Wang, Jackie Chan, Ming-Na Wen, Joshua Jackson, Sadie Santley, and Aramis Knight and Ralph Macchio. So that is the main cast. So in terms of this movie, it was, like I said, pretty solid. One thing for me leaving the theater that stood out to me was Joshua Jackson's character. He stood out to me. Of course, a lot of people know Joshua Jackson from his days way back on Dawson's Creek. And of course, he was on Fringe, that show on Fox that went for 5 seasons. He's currently on Dr. Odyssey on ABC. But always good to see him on screen. But his character, to me, he was a supporting character, but I enjoyed his performance, the relationship between him and Ben Wang's character. I just enjoyed that. So in just the way he went about and delivered his line. So that was one thing that I really liked about this movie. And then also the way this story went in terms of the execution of it. Of course, the first 3 original Karate Kid films, there was a certain way they did the story in terms of, training for a tournament and fighting at the end. The way they did it in this movie was was more than a little different, and I liked it. It didn't really per se focus on the main protagonist, training for this tournament to fight all the way through the end with, love interest here and there. Of course, there wasn't love interest, but that wasn't the main focus. They didn't take that approach because they've done that 3 times already, possibly with the 4th one. I didn't see the 94 film. So they went about it in a different way, in an interesting way, training the young kid, training an older adult male to box. That was interesting. And then of course having the backstory of him, the reason he moved from China to New York with his mom, losing his brother, and then he froze and had the flashbacks when that happened, with Joshua Jackson character being knocked out and having that. So that was an interesting, but just the way they executed the story, and then the training for the actual tournament that his character was going to be in, that didn't really start until the 2nd act of the film, towards the 3rd act of the film. So I like that they took a different approach to have the story go in that way and not repeat what has already been done in the 3 previous films. So I do like that. there was a little bit of a love story in it as well. And then also the villain, or the guy from the other dojo, so to speak, his performance pretty solid by Aramis Knight. I enjoyed his performance. Of course, he's been in a lot of things, most notably for Into the Badlands. He's done other things, NCIS as well. He was recently in Miss Marvel, also the Marvel MCU TV show, but his performance pretty solid. And then, of course, just his martial arts and just everybody, the fighting, merging the two disciplines together, and just the training montages and just the fighting in general and all the different parts of the scenes. I enjoyed that as well. So good job to the performers, the stunt performers, stunt team, stunt choreographers. Definitely enjoyed that. What else can I say? One thing I didn't like was when Jackie Chan's character went to meet with LaRusso, Sensei LaRusso in LA. They pulled up to Mr. Miyagi's house. This is a small nitpicky thing, but I think, what I believe, in my personal opinion, the choice of music used to pull up there could have been something else, could have been something different. Of course, it was a West Coast artists, but I feel like pulling up to Mr. Miyagi, and that should have used something a little bit more slower tempo, maybe even more traditional Chinese music, or just something different than hip hop music pulling up into his house. It was a small, quick scene, but I think the choice of music, in my opinion, was wrong. It could have been something else, but that's the choice they made, and so you move on. And then also the actual part, once you get to the tournament of the five boroughs, I like the way they went about and did that in terms of having battles in different locations within New York. And so that reminded me of Step Up 3, the Step Up movies, the dance movies. I love those movies. I have all of them. But particularly in Step Up 3, the dance battles takes place in different places within New York City until it gets to the final location in New York. And so these fights at this tournament had 5 rounds, and the final round took place in one place, but it went to the 5 different boroughs within New York. So that reminded me of how the Step Up 3 movie took that approach in terms of the different dance battles. So enjoyed how they went about and doing that. And then also the final battle scene, the final battle location, as they were walking into it to fight. This is somewhat of a nerdy thing, but I noticed, but I just like the way that scene was lit, the lighting in that particular scene, the low red, orange lighting, was the way that scene was lit as they were walking onto the mat. I definitely liked how that was positioned with the lighting. So that one I did enjoy, as well as, just that particular scene. And then what else can I say? The cast overall enjoyed their performance. Joshua Jackson's character, to me, stood out the most. What else? And I think that's all I have to say about this movie. Like I said, for me, it's a solid, good movie. There was some heart in this movie. There was a lot of good chunk of comedy in this movie. I enjoyed it. It worked for me as well. The montages, the training portions, the fighting. So for me, is this Blu-ray worthy? I would say yes. I do want to see it again. I do want to see how it was made. I want to see the type of training in terms of the fight sequences and the stunt choreographer, what they did in previs, if they're going to show that, and how much did of the actual fighting did the actors do. But I'm sure there was involvement with stunt team, stunt choreographies, as well as the stunt people, because there was a time where Ben Wang's character kept getting knocked down to the ground many times. So how much of that did he do, and how many takes did that take when that particular scene was happening? But a solid, good movie, but definitely worth watching again for me. I enjoyed my time in the theater, and it was a nice moment at the end with the Cobra Kai connection as well. And then starting the movie off from the second Karate Kid movie with a scene from that, a 1980 movie. I thought that was a nice touch. But I think that is all I have for this movie. So It was pretty good, solid. And that's all. So I hope you've enjoyed this description, this detail of my thoughts of this film. Of course, if you like what I'm doing, leave a like, subscribe, comment, tell me what you think. Did you like the movie? If you did, tell me what you liked about it. If you didn't like it, tell me what you didn't like. Are you going to see the movie? Yes or no? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Of course, if you want to listen to this podcast, you can definitely do that on the different platforms. Whether you want to listen on Spotify, you can follow this podcast, the Silly, Nerdy, and Wordy podcast, on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, Audible, and anywhere you get your podcast. You can certainly listen to it as well if that is the option you choose, or you can watch it here on the YouTube channel and watch it on Spotify as well. So feel free to do that. Follow the podcast, leave a rating, leave a review. Let me know your thoughts about this podcast and about this episode as well. But that is it and all I'm going to have for you today. So until next time, we will talk soon.